Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to another story time! And that's still a work in progress. So, guys, we just got Noctis. And of course, I already had Noctis's full kit. Granted, I didn't have the greatest passives for Noctis. I think they were fairly decent. I have one attack 108 and I have two-star willpower or whatever. And so I already got his full kit, so I thought, yeah, let's try a solo run. And man, the possibility when I first did this, so the video you guys are watching now is basically my first blind run solo, which I thought was potentially I would have cleared it pretty much. And to be completely honest with you guys, I thought I was pretty close. And so let's skip ahead because we do have quite a few things to look at. Strategies that I've implemented, and of course I'm gonna talk all about that. But basically my blind run was it was fairly decent, so let's take a look at the end. Alright, so my blind run pretty much ended with at least killing one of the phantom males, which I thought had a lot of possibilities into actually clearing this solo. And with Noctis's rework, it was really a huge possibility. Now originally, when obviously I ended up failing this run, but I thought it was a good enough run that I can just skip the entirety 4 waves and just keep on retrying and retrying with what I already have in place. Because in all honesty, having 4 shooting stars to begin with at the start of the fight and having 5 warp strikes, I thought I was in a good pace. So basically, since I kept trying and trying, I ended up trying more than 20 times on that run, basically just repeating the last fight. And I wasn't getting any closer. The best run I had in that entire time was actually my first run, where I actually killed one of the phantom males. So I couldn't repeat that again. So I decided to rerun the entire fight. So the first wave, I ended up using one of my shooting stars just to kill one of the birds, because the birds are actually the most dangerous part in wave 1. So if you can get broken by the wolf and you will get attacked by an eroga by the birds, so they won't hit you like if you pretty much let the birds live, they'll hit you, break you, and then they will do an HP attack. Now the second thing that I cleaned up was my second wave run, where basically I actually got virus, I believe, in my first blind run. So what virus does is basically reduces the chance that you will gain a buff from your abilities. For example, I used the Armiger on my blind run, but I didn't actually get the 3 stacks that you would normally get for using Armiger. So the best way to deal with that is with the Shooting Star Plus, is actually to target the mob that is right in front of Noctis in the turn order, therefore killing it, and then it will basically break B as well, and then Noctis will get his turn. Now in my head, I actually thought it'd be B. You're attacking B, the one behind the other mob, but it works out that you actually have to target the one in front. Now guys, as you might have noticed, I did try to slow down some of these wave fights. Maybe I'll try and do this in the future as well, at least in the future of the series where I solo the EX fights with, you know, the featured characters. I will try and slow them down from time to time now, so I can sort of explain what I'm trying to do and things that I did to improve the run, not just to tell you guys, you know, stuff like, oh, I did this many times and this is what happened, and you know, I do want to improve this series as much as I can. So anyway, the third wave, nothing much difference from my first blind run. The main thing that I improved on here is I actually use some HP attack plus, and of course trying to save as much of my abilities as I can. Now, in all actuality, the fourth wave is nothing to write home about at all, because what you're trying to achieve here is basically just kill one of them. You can actually just use an HP attack plus and you should be fine. Now, whether they break you after that, which in all highly likely they would actually just use transfusion afterwards, so you don't have to worry about that. They will just revive the other gargoyle back, as you guys will be seeing here, and then basically you'll have 2 extra turns, and basically you can kill both of them with an HP attack plus. Okay, so the main difference between the first blind run and this run is basically I'm starting off with both plus versions on my skills. That was my aim for this one, and as you guys can see, comparing to my blind run, I have 5 shooting stars compared to 4, and I have 7 warp strikes compared to 5 warp strikes in my blind run. So in the end, was this a better strategy? I can honestly say that even though I got closer, I felt like I was really stuck. There was no room for improvement. There's a big RNG kind of thing going on here, because when both are on Phantom mode, it's just very hard to tell who's in front and who is not, and who you're supposed to be attacking and who should be avoiding to attack, so you can be in front of the turn order. So while I got pretty close, I still felt like I had to start the fight with inflicting the debuff point blank on both the bosses. And so after going on for about 10 tries in this setup, I gave up. Now at this point, I was ready to use Quistis and just call it a day. And you know, I can say I cleared it with just Noctis. I just had to use a support character. But I thought to myself, you know what? The first setup was actually better. Like I said, inflicting the point blank debuff was actually one of the key issues, I think, that prevented me from actually clearing this run with just Noctis himself. So I redid the entire fight all over again, and this time I made sure that my shooting star is actually in its normal mode, so I can inflict the point blank debuff and then take advantage of the multiple attacks from HP attack plus during my summon phase, which was a very consistent thing when I was playing this multiple times, restarting multiple times. I might have changed something here and there, which was I wouldn't use Armiger. Instead, I would have saved Armiger when my buff is nearly empty, and I would just refresh it with Armiger. But this time around, I decided to actually use Armiger straight away as soon as it was available, and made sure I have Warp Strike Plus ready before my my summon ended, and made sure I was ahead in the turn order yet again. And now here's where the fight gets a little bit tricky. So I really wanted to save my set Warp, which was my AA for Noctis. And by the way, I did get his Bloomstone fully upgraded it, so I've got the passive for that as well. And I do think you need that in order for you to actually clear this fight with just using Noctis. But if you're using a friend support, you probably don't need it. But if you are just wanting to run this with just Noctis himself, I feel like you definitely need that extra oomph in your DPS. Now the reason why I found this very tricky in the end is because you really have no choice in the matter in terms of, you know, the boss will eventually go in their phantom state. So here you're kind of clueless as to who is actually in front. You can only sort of guess. But in this case, I decided to get rid of the one boss and just look after the one boss. So I got hit by Leaping Swing, which was fine. I actually preferred that it would break me and do a Leaping Swing then. It sort of has 3 turns of Phantom mode. So I wanted it to use all those Phantom modes before it uses its abilities, which were Phantom Sneak and Phantom Ray. Those are the ones that you really want to avoid. In all honesty, I went for a set there, and I thought I would just take it down as much as I can, and then, you know, I do a brave attack and save myself from getting broken. So I went for Phantom Raid, which inflicted turn rate down on me, which is kind of fine. The Phantom Sneak is much scarier, at least in my opinion. In here, I actually made a mistake. I should have went for the Shooting Star Plus, because I still had 1 turn of the set Warp, and that would actually make me do more damage. But in the end, it didn't really matter. I did try to save my my Armiger EX ability for the end, but I did it. I cleared this run with just Noctis and without using any friend support. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and leave down in the comments below what you think of this fight. Did you actually try to solo this fight as well with your own Noctis? And let me know how you did, and of course let me know how many tries did it take for you to actually clear this fight with just using Noctis without using a friend support. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.